Um, Welcome to our cleaning Q&A for this month. We usually try to do this the first Monday of the month, and I'm completely aware that this is not even a Monday and certainly not the first of anything this month. So I do apologize. Yeah, it's just been a busy month. My daughter went to overnight camp for the first time. There was a lot of pack up, a lot of cleanup, a lot of it was just busy. Anyway, and I've been out of town here and there. I've also been a little bit under the weather. So, yeah, just getting life back on track. Anyway, as usual, let me know where in the world you are watching from. I think a lot of you know that I am from Toronto in Canada. Yeah, so I always like to know where people are hanging out with us from. It's always nice and cool and fun to hear from different people all over the globe. But anyway, yeah, my job is just to, be here live to help support you and answer any cleaning questions that you might have this month. You're also welcome to ask other questions, whether I answer them or not. You'll have to take a wait and see approach. You can also at any time ask to come up and join me live. And what that essentially means is that you and I will split screen and we'll chat together. I promise you, I'm not mean or scary, and it is way less nerve wracking to be here than you might think. There's a link for you, and we'll get that in the comments if you want to hang out. So, yeah, we've got lots of lovely friends joining us. We've got Figaro, Sing It, Blue Keeper 6, Gloria Howard, Miss Rednia 237, Yolanda, Whitney, Judy. It's nice to see all of you here. Hi, and thanks for hanging out. PG as well. So yeah, what I will do is Lynette. Hey, Lynette, I'm going to have a look at your questions and I'm going to get going because it looks like we are starting off with quite a few. So Figaro asks, Melissa, can you help? I have a cloudy ring inside my drinking glasses, which I think is from the dishwasher. How do I prevent or fix this? Okay, so most important, and I'm sure you already do this, you have to put your glasses upside down in the dishwasher. This is going to prevent any pooling from happening at the bottom of the glass. And then once that water, once you dump it out, there's going to be like remnants or residue left behind from detergent. So glass is always upside down. Okay. Why that's happening is very likely because you have hard water. It could also be a detergent and a rinsing issue. Okay. So a rinse aid could be very helpful. A rinse aid is kind of like, trying to give like a skincare comparison or a hair comparison. But if you've ever done like a clarifying rinse on your hair after a shampoo, it's instead of conditioner, it kind of like clean, it's like an extra cleanse. Or like if you have a facial and they give like a really good cleanse, that's kind of like what a clarifying rinse does. That's also what a rinse aid will do. So it kind of just rinses away any of that extra residue that's left behind. Now, you also want to make sure that your cycle itself on the washing machine is running a really good rinse cycle, which could also mean just, give your dishwasher a good cleaning. Make sure that you're maintaining it so that it can do its job. Now, how do we solve this problem? So how we solve this problem is vinegar. So you just have a buildup of hard water minerals or you have a buildup of some detergent that hasn't gotten out. Just soak the glass. You can do equal parts water and vinegar. You can even use a little bit of dish soap in there as well. Just let it sit. The vinegar is going to help dissolve all of those hard water minerals that have been stuck. And then you can give it a light scrub, maybe with, a sponge or a cloth or something like that. And it should rinse out perfectly clean. So hope that helps. Okay. Sing It. Sing It says, this cricket living with a butterfly was still wondering if your storage system is still working. By the way, you and Cass are extraordinary in how you help us. Thank you so much. Yes, so the cricket and the butterfly, you're referring to Cass's system. And, Cass Clutterbug on YouTube. And Cass is awesome and hilarious. And yes, Cass came to my house a couple of years ago and helped me with my pantry. And I have never been the person to go out and buy organizers for my pantry. I think that is a crazy expenditure. However, when Cass came to my house and did that, it was a total game changer, and I still use that system to this day. I now fully believe in pantry organization with those containers and the bins because, specifically what she helped me with was having like deep bins that could fit into this like narrow pantry that was like quite tall and quite deep. So like the things that would go to the back of the pantry would like go there to die. Whereas when you have bins that fit in, you have to pull the whole bin out every time. So then what that does is it allows you to always see what you have in the bin so that you can use it up. You can gauge, you can gauge your inventory at home essentially. So you're not really leaving anything behind. You're not forgetting about anything. Also, like, whenever I've thought about reorganizing a pantry or setting up a new pantry, now I'm thinking about it with, what bins and containers make the most sense and how I want to have everything that makes sense in there and only that. So yes, I think her system was great. It made a lot of sense for me. Great question. So Gloria wants to know, how do I clean travertine floors? Travertine floors are, here comes this like, the end game of a sickness when you're like nasally and anyway, so sorry. That was like some nasal fluids. Nobody cares, but I do. And it just kind of hit me while I was talking. Anyway, sorry, Gloria. Okay. Travertine is natural stone. So we know that with natural stone, we can't use anything harsh like vinegar, Windex, and even some of these like commercial dilutable floor cleaners. Like, people will use Mr. Clean or Fabuloso or whatever. You know what? Like, I don't care what companies say, safe to use on all surfaces, this, that. I don't buy it. At the end of the day, if you have natural stone floors, you have a couple of very limited options, or you can buy a specialty product. So specialty product would come from a company like Rejuvenate, like Bona. Who else is making travertine floor cleaners? So DuPont, Granite Gold. These are all companies, Gloria, that are like specific floor care or specific stone care, like Granite Gold, specific stone care companies that will make products that will maintain and actually clean the floors. Now, if you want more of a DIY approach, this is one type of surface that I would say you can use a steam mop on. I don't recommend steam mops for many types of floors. Travertine is one of them that can tolerate it. And it might do well because of the porosity, and steam can really penetrate into the floor and sort of bring out any of the dirt that's been stuck in there. So you might have some really beautiful results with a steam mop. So those are all different options, Gloria, and I hope that gives you a little bit of guidance in terms of products and tools. Once you sort of pick the product that you're going to use, you can use it either in a spray mop format or in a microfiber, twist mop format. I would go with the flathead mop, like the Maker's mop. I would go with that in a spray bottle. And the reason I recommend that is because as the mop pads get dirty, you can rip them off and put a new one on, or you can pull it out and rinse it really well and keep going. And the reason you want to do this is because if your mop head gets too dirty, you can then start depositing dirt back into the travertine floors. And again, because travertine floors are quite porous, dirt that goes back in is just going to darken the floors. So some food for thought. Okay. Next up, we've got Blue Keeper 6. What's the best way to clean mold in the grout lines of your shower? I use toilet bowl cleaner with bleach, but the bleach smell in a tight confined space is no fun. Thanks. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It's brutal. Okay. So I happen to have this product, and I'm wondering if someone on my team can pop a link to this, because it's funny. Like I'm testing this out right now, and I recently showed it on a TV segment as well. And this is a pretty viral internet product, and it's viral because people are obsessed with it. It works very well. So I'm hoping that someone from my team got you a link there Bluekeeper 6, but this is active seal and grout mold stain remover. This gonna solve all your problems. Now, the one thing I will say is when you're working in a bathroom, you are dealing with a tight, confined space. It is gonna smell. So the best thing that you can do is ventilate. So turn on your fan, open a window. Number 2, wear PPE, whether that's gloves, a mask, eye protection, whatever you need to feel comfortable, that's what you need to do. Because in order for you to deal with mold in the grout lines of the shower, you've got to use something that's quite strong. The other option that you have is Concrobium. That's another product, that a product line that I really love and that I talk about. My team might be able to get a link up for that as well. I just don't have it here on my desk. And Concrobium is really great. It's low VOC, so it doesn't have an odor or a smell really. I do find with Concrobium, you're going to have to work a little bit harder than the Active because Active is bleach based. Therefore the smell, but you will get great results. And something else I want to say, okay, is toilet bowl cleaner with bleach is designed for cleaning toilet bowls. And what I see people doing online is they'll kind of try to like hack anything, just to get their reel to pop off, and they just want to get the clicks and the views and all that business. And I think that that is unethical. Okay. Because you in your bathroom using toilet bowl cleaner to get rid of mold in the grout lines of your shower, it's like you're using a product. Like, think about it. Toilet bowl, whoever gave you this information, I'm pissed off with them because toilet bowl cleaner is designed to remove lime scale, hard water buildup, germs and bacteria that come from toilets. Toilet bowls are different than grout lines. Grout lines are quite porous. Grout lines have serious moisture issues that need to be dealt with. Grout lines have mold and mildew. So the problems that you're trying to solve with toilet bowl cleaner that has bleach are not the same problems that you're trying to solve with, anything that you would use to clean grout lines. So whenever you see like an online hack, this goes for you, but this goes for anyone. Like, just really think it through. Like, does that make sense? And that's why this kind of stuff really bothers me. Anyway, I'm sorry I had to waste your time with that. And I hope that my recommendations help you and that you have better success rate with them. Okay. Alrighty. Let me see what other questions we have popping off. Oh yeah. Random live shows is a bonus to those who set the notification bells. Yes. Thank you so much for bringing this up. If you don't have your notifications for Clean My Space set up, please go ahead and turn it on. It's just a little bell. And what it does is anytime I have a live like this, you will get notified. Or if a new video comes out, you'll get notified. Being a subscriber, I so appreciate. I love and appreciate our subscribers. If you love the content that I do, just turn on that bell because then you'll be able to see what comes up. Thanks for that. And Emmanuel is joining from Italy. That is so awesome. Thanks for joining from Italy. I kind of wish I was in Italy right now. Emmanuel says, why not add vinegar if we have hard water? So if you have hard water, where would you want to add vinegar to? For the earlier question about the glass, that would be the solution. If you have hard water at home in general, you can't add vinegar to soften your water. You have to use a water softener. So some people will just get that installed. And then some people will, they will just deal with the hard water and then they find ways to counter it, like using a lot of vinegar, CLR, etc. Okay. Amira is watching from Idaho. Just got, the Maker's Mop and Cleaning Cloths. Very happy with all the items. Thanks, Amira. First of all, thank you for supporting Makers Clean. For anyone who doesn't know about Makers Clean, it is the company that is the sister company to us here. And it's where we sell all of our microfiber cleaning cloths and different types of cleaning products and tools. If you're in Canada, you can visit makersclean.ca. If you're anywhere else, you can visit makersclean.com and you can learn more. Thanks, Amira. I hope you love them. I hope you enjoy them. And I hope that they help make cleaning a lot more easy for you. That's the whole reason why I put all of this together. Okay. Gloria asks, how do I clean double pane Windows. Okay. So yeah, pretty sure mine are double paned. Yeah. So you help me understand your question a little bit more. I mean, you want to know how to clean like both sides of the window if you have like two? Just give me a little bit more info on that, exactly what you want to know. And then I will get you more details. All right, I'm going to move on to Chris. Melissa, I have 2 dogs that shed and have a good vacuum, but it's a pain to use every day. What cordless stick vacuum can you recommend for under $200? Okay. So, when you have pets, dogs or cats specifically that shed, vacuuming just has to be part of your day. And there's no cleaning job that I hate more than having to vacuum. Okay, that's a lie. Vacuuming is extensive, like so much easier with a stick vacuum, but it's really annoying. And there are definitely cleaning jobs that I hate more than vacuuming now. When I started cleaning, vacuuming was the worst because I hated the plug and vacuum, the cordless, the upright. It was such a pain to use. Stick vacuums have made vacuuming really easy and really efficient. Like now I look at stick vacuums and I'm like, God forbid if I have to touch another kind, like a cordless, a corded or like upright or canister, because they are just such a pain to use comparatively speaking. Now, Chris, you might want to consider just putting it out there and think about this. You might want to consider a robot vacuum instead of a stick vacuum. Because if you're already used to using whatever upright vacuum or canister vacuum that you have, and you don't want to have to vacuum every single day, well, a robot vacuum will do the daily vacuuming for you and keep up with that. You will just have to deal with emptying the filter. Unless you're going to use a vacuum that has a self-emptying feature. So for example, Shark has one of those, like where it's robot vacuum, backs into its charging station and then self-empties. It's pretty brilliant. These tend to go on sale around Prime Day. So if you're an Amazon Prime member, there's going to be a Prime Day. Like Prime Day is usually in October. It usually precedes Black Friday. Prime Day always has like the best deals. And Amazon owns iRobot. So they tend to put like their own products on really good sales. So you might want to hold off for that. I mean, I can recommend a stick vacuum to you, but I feel like you're going to have 2 competing tools, if you will. If you already have a vacuum that you're using to deal with your floor surfaces, maybe get something like a robot vacuum that's going to do more work for you, and so that you don't have to, vacuum every single day. I think a robot vacuum for pet owners is actually pretty sweet. I think it's great. As long as you know that it's not going to do all the vacuuming for you. And it's not to replace your vacuum, but it's a great everyday kind of maintenance tool. That is what I would recommend over a stick vacuum, Chris. I hope that helps. But if you still want a recommendation, let me know. Okay. Gloria. Yes, in between the windows. Do I have to replace them if they're foggy in between? Yikes. Okay. So I don't think so, Gloria. That's something I have never done myself. So I don't know. I wish I could answer that question for you. I don't know. I honestly don't know. I'm sorry. I don't have an answer for that. So I don't want to give you wrong information. So I'm gonna. What I'll do is I'll have someone make a note about it, and if you want, you can email us after, just to info@cleanmyspace.com, and we can look into that and try to help you there. Okay. All right. Alina, can this mold product be used to clean that black mold that starts at the window seals for moisture during the window? You're very likely referring to this, and yes, you can, provided that you understand you're using it on the caulking, the window seals, like any of the plasticky, rubbery stuff, but not the wood itself. Okay. But yeah, that's exactly what this type of product can do. So this could go in the washing machine gasket, fridge gasket, freezer gasket, that kind of thing. So any like rubbery type texture. It could also go on caulking. It can go in between grout. I don't think it's safe to use on wood. but I'm gonna look. Yeah, tub, shower, sink, toilet, window caulking, washing machine, refrigerator, dishwasher, rubber seals and gaskets, and tile grout. So this would be perfect for that. Okay. So yeah, check out that link. And there it is again. Yeah, I'm just looking at it in my comment feed. I'm sure you can see it as well. It's called mold stain remover gel, but it's pretty great. Okay. You say, I tried bleach to clean it and it still comes out and grows. I know ventilation helps, but you can't always keep the windows open a lot during winter. You're totally right about that. Do you have a fan? If you have a fan, what I recommend is turning it on during the shower and for at least 30 minutes after the shower. I switched out my fan to an auto timer. I think it was like a $26 thing on Amazon. And essentially what I do is I just hit the auto timer for 2 hours when I step in the shower, and then I let it run. And it's a set it and forget it situation, because that way I don't need to worry about, I don't need to worry about remembering to turn the fan off, but I also don't have any mold issues. The other thing, Alina, please tell me that you are using a squeegee after you shower. And I don't just mean on certain areas. I mean, you got to use it on the floor as well. And you don't want any water pooling, because once water pools, that's what's giving this mold the opportunity to grow. So you want to make sure that you're doing that, and you're really dedicated to the cause. Like, let's be honest. Look at me. Do you think I'm somebody that enjoys using a squeegee after a shower? No. But do I do it? Yeah, because I don't want to see my shower looking gross. So it's kind of like, people that struggle with going to the gym or cutting out sugar or whatever, it's just one of those things. It's like, yeah, it's really annoying to have to squeegee, but I'm doing it because it's going to prevent that mold. The other thing you can do, and one of the reasons I really like Concrobium, Alina, is because it's a good preventative treatment as well. So even if you use this product, you get rid of the mold, you can then use Concrobium as a treatment spray. You let it cure for 24 hours. So you're going to apply it to the surface once the mold has been removed. And then you're just going to let it cure for 24 hours, and that's it. Sorry, I just had to sniff and I didn't want to do that publicly, which is why I had to mute. All right, Chris. I already answered your question. Okay, perfect beauty. Okay. I recently got a cat. Oh, well, you can't just say I recently got a cat. You have to give me more details about your cat. I love cats. If I ever go to your house or anyone's house and I see the cat, there's a really good chance that I'm going to be like, oh, I just have to go to the bathroom. And then I'm going to find the cat and hang out with the cat for a good 10 minutes. Okay. You're still learning how to care for your cat, but hair is a big problem. Yeah. So I just talked about this with Chris. Pets are messy, and pet hair is a struggle. And honestly, I wish I had a better answer for you, but you are just going to have to get better acquainted with your vacuum. And like I was saying to Chris, a robot vacuum is going to be a huge help for pet parents, because you can just schedule it to run for an hour a day, 30 minutes, however long you need it to run for. Let it pick up any of the shedding hair, and then you can vacuum a couple times a week. But you're also going to have to vacuum those hot spots where your cat likes to sit. So if it's on a couch, cats are very particular. So they're going to find their little space, and then they're going to sit on it. Like my cat, there's this chair she loves, sits on the chair, doesn't move. She's 16, so she's retiring there essentially. But yeah, like I literally have to, and she's very fat, so I literally would have to pick her up, move her, vacuum it, pick her back up, put her down. Like that's what happens. Washing your clothes, shaking off your clothing before you put it into the washer and dryer. But like, I will say this, like when you have a pet, there's just a level of acceptance that you have to bring into your life, that hair is going to be part of your reality. And it is nearly impossible unless you are quite literally vacuuming every single day, it's going to be really difficult to not notice more hair. Yeah, so I think that's my best answer, just vacuuming very regularly and thinking about getting a robot vacuum. And that's also gonna help with the litter, so I hope that helps. Adam says, "I was just binging your videos while I clean." I love hearing that. That is so fun. And I don't know if you know this or not, Adam, but I also have these like podcast style videos where I just talk about cleaning a certain space and like coaching or guiding you through cleaning that space. I make them about 40 or so minutes long because I don't know how much time you need to spend. So I'm with you for a good chunk of time if you need it, or you can just skip to the parts that you need, or you can just listen to me talking and tune me out entirely, whatever. And what I do is I also bring in funny cleaning stories or funny stories associated with that particular space from Reddit. Because I think a lot of you know that I have like a very silly kind of, you know, I don't know, ridiculous sense of humor. So I always like funny stories. So yeah, I like to, or like weird stories. So anyway, I just go on Reddit and I find like funny, weird stories and I share those intermittently on the podcast as well. All right. Just Jab 23. How do I come up with a good routine to prevent my apartment from getting junky? I'm very unorganized and fall back into the habit of getting unorganized. Yeah, and honestly, I empathize with you because this is something that I struggle with as well. I mean, I have had a cleaning company since 2006. I have been making YouTube videos about cleaning since 2012. It's 2025. I'm a 43-year-old woman. I'm a mother. And I still struggle with keeping my bedroom tidy. And it is one of those things, like I was saying earlier about setting routines up, right? Like it's one of those things, like I could give you a routine. ChatGPT could give you a routine. The King of England could give you, it doesn't matter. Like anyone can give you a routine. What it comes down to is follow through. It's like going to the gym, cutting out sugar, not having coffee anymore, like whatever those things are that we have to do that we don't like doing. Um, preventing your apartment from getting disorganized, that's like a kryptonite thing for you. I find that my homeostasis is a little bit messy. Like my baseline is messy, and it's so hard for me even to this day. Like I have to work so hard to keep a clean home. And that is why I do what I do here on Clean My Space, because other people, when they're like, "Oh yeah, I just wake up and my house is perfect," that's great. That is not me. Like I still struggle with it. So I feel you. And what it comes down to is falling back into that habit of getting unorganized. We have to come up with things that make sense for us. So I'll give you an example. Like this is how I keep my kitchen clean. I have a routine that I have to live by. And that is in the morning, my dishwasher gets unloaded. Throughout the day, when 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 this cup is empty, what I have to do is take it upstairs, put it into the dishwasher. After I finish dinner, I have to clean the whole kitchen. That means if my compost bag is overflowing, I have to empty it. That means if my daughter spilled a bunch of stuff on the floor, I have to clean it up. Not just see past it, because messes are magnetic. Like they attract more mess, right? If you see a mess, more mess starts to happen. So I have to clean that up. So I have to vacuum. Maybe I have to mop. If the dish, like whatever, I have to clean all the pots and pans. I have to put the dishes in the dishwasher. I run the dishwasher through. So that way the next morning, my dishwasher can be unloaded and I can start all over again. When things come into my front hall, if they don't get put away right away, it starts to build up. If I showed you my front hall right now, you would see a buildup. And that's because I got home from overnight camp with my daughter over the weekend. We went for like a fun little family weekend thing that they were doing. So a bunch of people went up. It was really fun. But you better believe there's stuff sitting there. It's like a traffic jam, right? And it's waiting to go into the basement, to go into deep storage. I haven't gotten around to it yet. And it is just building up. So it's one of those things where you have to know where you get caught up and you have to come up with systems to not allow that to happen. So, for me, what that might look like is saying to myself, once I get off this call, before I make lunch, before I do this, before I do that, that thing has to go into the basement. It's just finding little things like that where you know yourself best and you have to find ways to outsmart yourself. I hope that that makes sense. I really do, because I totally empathize with you and I know how challenging this can be. Okay, Chris, you want to know a recommendation for a stick vacuum? No problem. I really find Shark is great when it comes to budget categories. So I'm going to just pull up the Shark website, and I know you're in Canada, so I'm going to look on their website to see specifically the name that I can recommend for you. So just give me a second here, because I want to make sure that we get you what you need. So let's have a peek. So under 200 bucks, it's going to be hard to find a good one under 200 bucks. And I'm going to tell you why, because there's a decent amount of technology that goes into these. Yeah, so I just want you to know that. Now, the Shark Power Detect cordless stick vacuum. So Shark Power Detect cordless stick vacuum is more expensive. I have used this. I did a segment on the morning show with this particular unit, and it was great. Yeah, and it's currently on sale. It's $499.99 in Canada, so it's not within your price range. The other thing I'll say is like Tyneco. So I personally, I don't use Tyneco because it's sort of like a principle thing. I'm never a fan of companies that are like direct ripoffs of other brands. And I think Tyneco, in a lot of ways, kind of rips off with their stick vacuum, a company that rhymes with the word Tyson. So they do have a stick vacuum that's more within your budget, and it does get good reviews online. I haven't tested it, but the Tyneco A30S is currently $259 on their website. And I think they sell them on Amazon as well. So I think those two might be good recommendations. Personally, Chris, I would stick with the Shark, but I don't know your budget. You gave me a budget, so I tried to come in as close to that as I could. Okay. Jana says it means that the seal has gone between the windows. Call a window company. And this was in response to the earlier inquiry about how to clean double paned windows. Thanks for the information. I really appreciate that. And it's so nice that someone in the community is able to just pop in and help me when I don't know something. So I learned something today as well. Thank you so much. All right, Stacy from New Orleans. Well, that's cool. Okay, so you can't make your black faucets come clean. Interesting. Yeah, so you have to be a little bit more careful with these. There is a product, I can't remember the name, so just give me a minute. I'm going to look this up so I can remember the product name for you. Because when I see it, I'll know. When I see it, I will know. Okay, it's not coming up right now. Okay, so the challenge with these, okay, is that using a harsh product can sometimes destroy a finish. So especially if it's like a matte black finish, you can run into challenges with it. So that's why you're not supposed to use anything overly acidic, which is why something that would work really well on, say, like a chrome or a nickel or brushed stainless faucet isn't going to work as well on, as you say, like the oil rubbed bronze or the black looking faucets. So this product name is evading me, but what you can do is you can test in a small area, you can test a magic eraser and see if it affects the finish. In some cases it may, in some cases it may not. I don't know your exact fixture, which is why I'm suggesting that you test it first. If it works and you don't notice any scratching, you're good to go. Superfine steel wool, 0.000 steel wool with a little bit of water can also help to get rid of any hard water buildup on those areas. What you're doing there is you're using physical force instead of chemical force, okay? But again, you just want to test first and make sure it's not going to scratch. But that's why Superfine is a good choice, and should be the only choice. What else you can do is just use like a Dawn power wash type situation. And you can spray that on, kind of agitate the area with a toothbrush a little bit, and then rinse it off. If you want to give me a little bit more detail as to why you can't get it clean, like what specifically is not coming off, I might be able to give you a more pointed response. But I think what I suggested there would be like kind of the safe zone for now. All right. Alina, you don't have shower doors. You're stuck with curtains. Fans in a bathroom are on for a long time throughout the day. Okay. So, I mean, that in that case, the other thing you can do, which if you're not squeegeeing, the other thing you can do is just get a towel. So even Makers Clean, like we have our double-sided duo cloths, the really thick cloths. You can take a towel and you can just wipe instead of squeegee. You can wipe away all of that excess moisture, liquid, whatever. And that will sort of reduce the need for you to have to run the fan for so long. The other thing is to make sure that you open up the shower curtain fully so that everything can sort of air dry or drip dry. I know it feels sort of counterintuitive because you're like, oh, I want to leave the shower open so that everything can circulate. But then what happens is the showers get all like kind of crusty and gummed up. So you don't want to do that. But yeah, that's what you have to do. But I'd also try the concrobium, Alina, and see what happens there. Because if you pre-treat the areas, you're going to be in some good shape. Okay. Oh, look at this. Okay. By the way, because of your video, clean litter box secrets that your cat won't tell you, you now have a stainless steel litter box and charcoal packets, and they're total game changer. Oh my gosh. Yes. Total game changer. Okay. I don't even understand. Like, I think it's like a crime that they even sell plastic litter boxes at this point because plastic is porous. It absorbs odors. Cat pee is one of the worst smells you could possibly imagine. And stainless steel does not absorb any odors. It is so easy to clean. So you just dump it out. You can use hot water. You can use freaking dish soap. But I would recommend using something like Angry Orange or Rocco and Roxy. Like those are great products to deal with, an enzyme-based product to deal with pet smells. But oh my God, it is a total game changer. So I'm so glad that you noticed that. And the charcoal packets are also amazing because they're great at absorbing odors. And one of the wild things about charcoal, activated charcoal, is that you can reactivate it by putting it in the sunlight, which sounds so like crunchy granola, but like that's exactly how it works. And it's so cool. Okay, Adam, you had a massive leak in your kitchen sink and you ended up having to remove the entire cabinet floor because of the rotting. Use bleach and then vinegar, but the mildew smell is still there. If the mildew smell is still there, you still have a moisture issue. Okay. So there are moisture absorbing packets in like buckets that you can get. And if someone on my team is around, they can put, there's a concrobium link. They can put the concrobium link there for you to a moisture packet, like an absorber packet. You can also get buckets. So what you can do is you can put that under your sink and you can see if that helps absorb any of that excess moisture. However, if that's not going away, it's going to be really important for you to get that checked because you do not want a persistent mold issue. So I would give it, honestly, Adam, I would give it like a week. And if that mildew smell doesn't go away, once you remove that packet, if it comes right back, then someone needs to go in there and check what's going on because that's going to lead to a very, very big problem that's going to cost you way more money to fix. And I would not want you to have to do that. Figaro says a second convert on this stainless steel litter box, almost no smell. I am telling you, like, it is It is the greatest. It is the greatest. And yeah, thank you. I'm glad that you love it. Okay. Red Solo Cup. Is there a robot vac that can avoid pet waste accidents? That's my fear. Oh, okay. So yeah. Robot vacuums are smart, but they are not that smart. If it was pee, it wouldn't be a problem. If it's like a poop or a vomit, it's going to be gross. And then you're going to see it smeared and it's going to be awful. So yeah. No, I would say like you can't rely on, listen, those robots sometimes have problems identifying what a sock is, right? So, they're not perfect. It's not perfect technology. Really, it's designed to do sort of that everyday in-betweeny type cleaning, but it's not going to like make, those kind of executive decisions that you and I can easily make. So no, short answer. But who knows what it'll look like in 5 years from now. Oh, Jana, you love the podcasts. Oh, that is so sweet. Thank you. And you know what? If you have any requests or ideas for additional podcasts, let me know, because the team and I, like, we're all on right now. And we can definitely chat about any more ideas, or like if you're like, yeah, those funny stories are really great, like let me know. And I will absolutely be recording more of those podcasts. Not when I'm this nasally, though, of course. All right, PG. What tub shower brush with a long handle do you recommend? So, what I think you could do, if you want like one of those rotating scrubber brushes, the ones with like extendable handles that are rechargeable, and you can sort of pop different heads on and off and use them for cleaning. Those are pretty great. You can usually find them on Amazon for about $50-$60. And to be honest, sorry, they're all the same. If you find them on Amazon and it's like weird Amazon name number 1, weird Amazon name number 2, weird Amazon name number 3, they're all the same. So, just find one that's on sale that day and get that one. Now, if you're looking for like not a brush, but like a mop, or something that you can kind of scrub with, the Maker's mop, like our taco shape mop, is great for cleaning high up and down low surfaces. So obviously it's not electric. It's just an old analog mop, if you will, but it's got a curved head. So it's really good for applying pressure, but also getting into corners. You can, flip it on its side. It's really great for wet work. It's really great for dry work. It allows you to get up high and down low. So that's a great recommendation. My mom is 74 and she uses our mop, the Maker's mop, to clean her tub and shower. And she says it's great. My mom's in pretty decent shape, but she's also 74. So, she's no spring chicken. Sorry, Mom, if you're watching. And my mom always watches, so I'm for sure going to get a text about that comment. Sorry, Mom. But yeah, she uses it and she says it's great. So, all right. Figaro, I listened to a consumer program that tested all vacuums, and the most effective vacuum is the one that you like to use regularly. Ain't that the truth? Yeah. And that's the thing. Like ultimately it comes down to usability. And that's why I struggled with cordless vacuums and canister vacuums, because I quite simply did not want to use them. Okay. Already. Oh, Sing It. That's so cool. You were watching my videos and you thought to ask me about my storage situation from 2 years ago. Love hearing that. Great. Okay. Blue Keeper 6. What's the best way? Great questions coming in today. Keep it up. I'm going to wrap things up in about 15 minutes, just so you know. I should also mention, sorry, before I get to your question, I should also mention, if you are not signed up for the Dirty Dish, which is our weekly newsletter, don't wait on it, because we sort of revamped how we do our newsletter now. And it's full of recommendations of like, things like this and like little tested good stuff, like good things that are really going to solve your problems. We answer questions. We kind of make it humorous and funny, because like, I'm not going to read a boring newsletter. I don't want you to read a boring newsletter. So you can find a link to the Dirty Dish in the comments down below. And, it's also a nice way for us to keep in touch, as is like Instagram and all the other stuff. Okay, back to you, Blue Keeper 6. What's the best way to keep the front of your stainless steel fridge? Water spots are the worst, especially when the boyfriend does the dishes. Whoa, can we just take a minute? Can we just appreciate your boyfriend? I love that for you. I love that he does the dishes. So let him know that I thank you. I thank him on your behalf for that. That's amazing. Okay. Water spots are the worst. Let's talk about water spots. What's the issue with water spots? The hard water minerals that they leave behind. What do we know deals with hard water minerals? Vinegar. We also know that rubbing alcohol can deal with that. So you can use either or, but not both. You can use either or. I think you can use, okay, forget I said that. I think you can use, it's either hydrogen peroxide or rubbing alcohol that you can't mix with vinegar. I think it's hydrogen peroxide. Anyway, good reminder here that we shouldn't do anything if we are not 100% sure about it. So if I'm unsure about that and I forget something, because honestly, I'm 43 and I'm forgetting a lot of things these days. I would just check up on that first. But vinegar is going to deal with that. So you can use a dilution of equal parts water and vinegar and wipe that off. That's going to help. You can also use equal parts rubbing alcohol and water and wipe it off, and that will help. And then it just comes down to maintenance. So like my daughter, same thing. And how do I know they're her fingerprints? Because they're always at the same height. Okay. And I have an enormous hand, like a freakishly large hand. I had to get my golf clubs refitted, and they had to give me there's the standard men's size, regripped. I mean, there's the standard men's size, and then I had to get one up from the standard men's size. So my hands are certainly not the same size as my daughter's. I know her handprints. They're all over the place, and you just have to stay on top of it. All righty. Let's see here. NT. Any recommendations for a product to remove limestone etching? Oh God. I'm so sorry to hear this. You broke a bottle of apple cider vinegars on your floor and you have some etching. Oh, that is awful. I'm sorry. Whew. All right. I'm gonna give you the bad news. There is no product. And the other bad news. Okay, the good news is there is a way to fix it. The bad news is it's expensive, and I'm sorry. So what you need to do is you need to call a natural stone restoration company. If you would like to learn more about this particular issue or how to resolve it, there is a website called the Marble Institute. And I think it's a really reliable source for information about natural stone surfaces and finishes. It's something I rely on as well. And the Marble Institute will explain very clearly how this problem needs to be rectified. But essentially what they're going to have to do is come in and sort of use this sort of solution. They're going to have to buff the floor down and then refinish it, unfortunately, or you live with the etching. It's so awful. And I'm so sorry that happened to you. That really sucks. Kathy, how can you keep sheets on the daybed? So when you say that, okay. So Kathy, there are these funny sheet suspenders. And when you say daybed, I'm just trying to envision, maybe you can let me know in the comments, if it has like a mattress like you would have on any other bed where you can lift up the entire mattress. If that's the case, you can get suspenders for your mattress. So essentially, it's like an X shape. Imagine this, suspenders. So it has 2 clips up here and then 2 clips down here. So you put on your fitted sheet and then you just snap the 2 clips on each side in place. And then it just keeps your fitted sheet locked and loaded so it doesn't move. Because no one wants to have to remake their bed every day. So if you give me more information, I can maybe help you out, or if that solved your problem, check that out. All right, let's see. Okay, Sing It. I laughed at some of your videos before, kids. Yeah, were you spot on now that you apply your own advice? Anything that you see differently now that you're parenting? Listen, I don't remember everything I've said. I think we have over 1,000 videos, and I would be a savant if I remembered everything I said. Like I said, I barely remember my name these days. That's just, being in your early 40s. That's just what happens to the ladies. But anyway, things that I see differently now that I'm parenting. Oh my God. I think parenting is way harder. And theoretically, it's very easy to give advice when you don't have kids and you're like, yeah, I just, why wouldn't you do that? Or this makes total sense. But when you're a parent, practicality often takes place of the best possible advice, and things that make sense. Um, and then there's also things that your kids will do. Right. And I also think that so much of parenting comes down to parenting styles. So I can't really give generalized parenting advice because the way I parent is very different from the way my best friend parents, the way Riley's dad parents, the way I was parented, all of that. Like there are just so many differences in people's parenting styles that if I want to teach Riley how to do the dishes, it might be totally different than how you teach your kids how to do the dishes. Kids are kids are challenging, and also every kid is different, right? So you have to parent differently for every kid. I think the piece of advice that I gave before having kids and still makes sense to this day is just to stay on top of the cleaning because it is only going to pile up and get more intense. I also think the advice I have given about going easy on yourself and sort of lowering or managing your expectations around perfection, especially when you have little kids. Riley is 7 and my house is as upside down as ever with her. And I just do my best to stay on top of it. But I also remind myself that I don't want to be that parent that's like constantly shouting at my kid, like, put it away. No, no, no. Instead of that, like I sort of change my language with her and I say things like, I love watching you take pride in your bedroom, or look how nicely you made your bed. You must be so proud. Like that's the kind of language I use. So yeah, I try to do it differently. And then the other thing that I will say is advice that I gave before and advice I still believe in is to involve your kids in the cleaning and to teach them how to clean from a young age. And going back to what I just said a minute ago, I come from a place of trying to instill pride of ownership and responsibility with her. I've talked about this before on our live streams, that Harvard study that was done, looking at kids who were given chores from a young age and then their success and outcomes later in life. I talk to her about that. And I say to her, my job as a mom is to keep you safe and to set you up for success. So if I'm asking you to help me load the dishwasher, I can load the dishwasher myself. It takes me 2 seconds. I'm like, but I want you to be successful. So I'm teaching you how to do this stuff so that you can be successful. So that's the language I use. And whether it comes to laundry or this or that, when we were at our overnight camp experience this past weekend and we came home, we did a bunch of laundry. I said to her, you have to help me with this. And she's like, yeah, but I'm not good at folding. I said, just do your best. Just do your best and figure it out. And let me tell you, it didn't look pretty, but she did it and she felt accomplished at the end of it. So yeah. Hope that answered your question. And with that, my friends, I think we're just about ready to wrap things up. I know that Amir is going to go off and clean now, and I hope that I have encouraged at least one more person than Amira. I know Adam's cleaning too. And I know Jana likes to listen and clean. So I hope that other folks do the same thing. It was lovely to see you. September 1st, I believe, is the first Monday of next month. And unfortunately, that's Labor Day. And I'm busy that day. I actually have a big event for my friend's son that day. So I won't be able to live stream, but we'll find another time at the beginning of September to meet and chat again. It was lovely to see all of you. Thanks so much for joining and for your wonderful questions today. And I wish you a great rest of August. And as the song says, I'll see you in September. Have a good one.